guys, what's going on? And today we're back with a new Lego Star Wars video! Oh gosh, it's been a while since I made a proper video talking about video games, so it's good to get back into the groove of things. And you're probably wondering why I'm making this video now. Well, recently I've been playing a lot of Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, and it's been a blast of a game. Don't let the haters fool you. And something you should know about me is that both the Lego Star Wars games I own mean a lot to me. Lego Force Awakens was the first ever game I got on my then new PS4 console, and Lego Skywalker Saga was a game that I fought tooth and nail for. As such, I play both of them almost religiously, and I even 100% platinum Lego Force Awakens. However, most of this was before I got exposed to the true horrors of the internet. Now, it's not surprising that the Legogaming community doesn't like Lego Force Awakens since it's only based on one movie and the hub worlds are incredibly small and limited. And despite its overwhelming success, Lego Skywalker Saga has faced backlash from some for not being a 10 out of 10 golden game or remaster of the complete saga it was hyped up as. Now, as I've shown earlier, I don't really let the fan of hate ruin my enjoyment of these games, but it did get me thinking. Over time, I have come not to like The Force Awakens as much as I initially did, mostly for the same reasons as the rest of the community. It's only based on one movie, really small scale for a Star Wars game, and doesn't really provide a new experience from the other games other than having higher graphics and dialogue for the first time.
This droid has to get to the Resistance base as soon as possible.
He's carrying a map to Luke Skywalker. Don't tell me a Rathor's got loose. You're not hauling Rathors!
And of course, the biggest reason to me for why this game hasn't aged well is the fact that it's basically pointless now that Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga exists and completely blows The Force Awakens out of the water. So, while my view of this game has lowered in recent years, I didn't want to completely write it off as bad or pointless and began comparing it to Skywalker Saga to see if it has anything salvageable. And you'd be surprised by what I dug up. And while I wouldn't say that these reasons are enough for you to go out and buy the game, I will say that they're enough for The Force Awakens to earn its place in Star Wars gaming history. So, without further ado, these are the 4 things that Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens does better than the Skywalker Saga, in no particular order. Kicking off the list, we have a scathing difference, and that is that Lego Force Awakens actually has a character customizer. Yeah, for as much as I love the Skywalker Saga, my biggest issue with it is that they removed the customizer for no reason at all. I get that the game went through production issues, but there is no reason to remove what was a staple of the Lego game genre for nearly 20 years. What's worse is that Legacy of the Dark Knight seems to be following in its footsteps. Lego Force Awakens doesn't just have a customizer, it's got a really good one at that. Not only can you change every part of your character's body, but you can also give them a power/ability based on what weapon you choose. It's not as simple as, oh, he's a light or dark side type of character. The weapons can get specific. For example, if you give your character a Palpatine or Dooku's lightsaber, they can shoot lightning, something no other character can do. Oh gosh, remember when you could shoot lightning in a Lego Star Wars game? Or how if you want to equip someone with a double blade lightsaber, you'd have to use Maul specifically. I'm not going to pretend the variety was amazing, but you gotta appreciate the attention to detail. Plus, check out these beautiful characters I was able to make. Look at that dashing gentleman. It's a real shame you can't do this in the new game. Another thing The Force Awakens has that completely dwarfs the Skywalker Saga is the fact that it has microships that you can use to traverse the planet. Now, before I gush, I do want to address that these microships are not perfect. Because the game relies so heavily on them, it can lead to the open world feeling empty and lacking, especially for a game of its age.
These mini hub planets to explore are so dull and linear for a 2016 Lego game. There are huge areas with just nothing. I get that it's for using the vehicles, but come on. Dequart is one of the most forgettable Star Wars planets. Even in the Skywalker Saga, I didn't enjoy 100% in it.
With that said, you can't make me hate these ships, man. I love that you can ride around the hub worlds, blasting everything in sight with them. They are great for races and aesthetics. The only major issue I have with them is that all the hub worlds, except for one, which we'll get to, are so freaking small that it's almost impossible to fully enjoy these ships. While on the topic, I want to give a lot of love to my favorite microship, that being the Guavian Marauder. Now, I'm not a car or vehicle guy in general, so I really care about this type of stuff, but the Guavian Marauder nearly changed that for me. I love its full red design, the sharp aerodynamic edges, the blue pulsar things at the back that help it push forward, the lasers, oh, it's all so cool! I used this ship in every flying level because it was just that goated. And looking at the Skywalker Saga, I do think that getting rid of this awesome feature was a sad loss. Most of the planets in the Skywalker Saga, while good for exploration, are incredibly tight or vertical. They are not vehicle friendly at all. Yes, microships do still exist, but you can only use them in space. And yes, you can find naturally spawning vehicles on some planets, but for some godforsaken reason, they're incredibly hard to control and maintain momentum with. Looking at you, Jakku speeders. And of course, this is all ignoring the biggest crime the Skywalker Saga committed, which was getting rid of the Guavian Marauder.
That when they ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine. When you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Like, why? It would have been so easy to make it a ship or microship. I know it was for a random background character in the Force Awakens movie, but you already had the model. Why chuck it?
I can't take this shit no more, man.
Anyway, staying on topic, I'm not saying that the planets in the Skywalker Saga should be overly open like in the Force Awakens, but we could have found a middle ground where there are some planets that were just naturally more vehicle friendly, like Tatooine or Pasana. That way you didn't even need to use a vehicle to get from one end of the planet to another. And please, whoever works at TT Games, just sneak in the Guavian Marauder, just for me. I'll buy all the Lego sets you want me to. The third thing LEGO Force Awakens has over Skywalker Saga is that Starkiller Base is an explorable location. It is the largest hub world in the game, and thus the one with the most stuff to do. One thing I really like that the developers did is that they realized that Starkiller Base from the movie doesn't really offer much in the way of exploration, so they made the surface of the planet its own thing while incorporating stuff from other planets like Hoth with the Wampa to give it more life. In the Skywalker Saga, it is famously known that you cannot explore the Death Stars and Starkiller Base outside the levels. Now, while you can explore the Death Star and Death Star ruins in Skywalker Saga, Starkiller Base is still something you can't explore, at least as far as I'm aware. I haven't 100% of the game. So having it as a fully operational base in The Force Awakens is really cool. And again, you get to explore the entire planet, and it's but having it as a fully operational base in The Force Awakens is pretty cool, and you get to explore the entire planet and do all the side quests you want. And because it's so big in The Force Awakens, you can have more fun with the microships, as there's more space for you to goof around with them, as shown in that racing clip with the Wampa I showed earlier, though that one you're racing on foot, but you can get there on the vehicle. And the last major thing The Force Awakens has over the Skywalker Saga that you can be proud of is the DLC levels. Now, to get this out of the way, I'm not a guy who likes to spend real money on games. I believe that once you buy a game, it should have all the content required to make it a satisfying experience. As such, because Skywalker Saga does not have any extra playable content, you'd think that I would declare it the winner in this category, right? The problem is that Skywalker Saga still has DLCs, but this time they're in the form of character packs. And this doesn't make sense to me because the Skywalker Saga is a game that prides itself on how many characters and variations of characters it has. Anakin and Ben Solo alone have like a kajillion skins in the game. Not to mention that because of the class system, you realistically only need like 8 characters to 100% the game. Therefore, unless you're really into cosmetics and symmetry, there's not really an incentive to buy the DLCs since you already have other characters who share the exact same abilities. To me, if you already have the means to add other characters into a game chock full of characters, you should do that without a paywall. Have the DLCs be updates or character drops like how Luke Starkiller was added. Like, I'm sorry, but there should be no reason as to why Ahsoka, one of the most popular Star Wars characters to date, should not be in the base game roster in the 5th Star Wars game. It makes sense why she wasn't in the complete saga as she didn't exist then. She was the main character in the Clone Wars game, so they had no choice but to put her in the roster, and I can even understand why she was a DLC character in The Force Awakens since the game was heavily sequels focused and nearly everything was a DLC. But Skywalker Saga has no excuse for why they didn't add her. As such, in comparison, LEGO Force Awakens does come off as a better game in this practice. While I would have preferred no DLCs in general, I can appreciate that they went out of their way to develop extra levels to play alongside the character packs. That way, you can have more fun with them and feel like your money went towards enhancing your experience with the game. Like I said, I haven't played said levels, so I don't have much of a horse in this race to judge whether they're good or not. But what I can say is I would much rather have a game that has DLCs with effort put into them than a game with lazy DLCs. But in general, I'd rather have no DLCs. And there you have it. 4 reasons as to why the LEGO Star Wars Force Awakens game is not as pointless as you may have thought. Did this video change your mind? Probably not. Do I recommend that you buy LEGO Force Awakens over Skywalker Saga? Absolutely not. Skywalker Saga stomps low diff in almost every way. Trust me, that game is more bang for your buck. Was there a reason for me to make this video? No. Did I have fun? Yes. Yes, I did. Did I give y'all a deeper appreciation for this game? Well, that's for y'all to tell me down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like if you like, subscribe if you haven't already. I've been Penguin Ninja, and I'll see you all in 5 years when I finally decide to play video games again and find something worthwhile to talk about too late.